Hey guys, welcome back to Living the Life. How you guys doing today? I hope you guys are doing well. Before we start, please hit that like and subscribe button, share the video if you think it's important. Thank you, and let's get right into it. Today, I want to talk about labeling ourselves, if that's what you call it. I feel that we put ourselves into certain predicaments as children of God, right? People make fun of us. People think that we're trying to brainwash them and make them do things that they don't want to do, and it's a lot of nonsense to me. The reason why I say talking about labels is when you want to put a label on anything is you want people to know, right? What you're selling or what the product is or who you are, what your company is. Just giving facts, right? You know, when you look at a label, a nutritionist, okay, I got to find how much sugar is in this, how much fat is in this. So what happens is when we put labels, products or anything, is it has to show, facts, right? So when we call ourselves Christians, and it's okay if you want to call yourself Christians. I think the true meaning of what we do is we're children of God, because it doesn't matter what religion, what race, what color, how we look like. We all have the same Father, right? Which is God. So when I call myself a child of God, is I don't give people the opportunity to right away criticize it or try to look for any faults in what I believe in, because I think what that does is it creates sometimes a doubt, because yes, there are people that don't have that much knowledge, and there are people that know the Bible and don't even believe in the Bible and know it well. So, and it's like in life where they say, one bad apple, is because of one bad apple, nobody wants to eat the apples, right? The saying. So if I say, yeah, I'm a Christian, right away, a non-believer, well, a person that knows God exists doesn't want to admit it, because if he admits it, then he has to leave the things of the world and put the things of the world as the last priority, where God has to come first, and his way of how we live comes first. Because if we follow what God wants for us, everything is easy. We won't have the stress. Yes, realistically, somebody told me, yeah, well, believing in God is not going to pay your rent. Well, that's where we have to do our part. I think Jesus said, give what is Caesar's and give what is God. We can go out and work, and doesn't mean we have to show people, okay, I'm just like you, so you can be accepted. Listen, you go to work and you become who you are. That's it. If they can't accept you, too bad. I learned that over the years. I always try to put a front so I can be accepted, or looked upon. I think everybody has that desire to be wanted, or to be, around. In school, it was like that. I was kind of big. Not fat, but I was kind of big when I was in elementary schools and schools. So Yeah, I was a bully. I was a bully because I was insecure because I wanted people to like me. You know, I always had that fear of being alone and afraid. And it's like I said, as I was growing up, I'm watching all these TV shows like the Brady Bunch, and the Flintstones. I thought life was really like the Brady Bunch, where life is good, everything is good. You get to go with your family and go on those vacations to Hawaii and all that. And then real life hits you when you go out and you're on food stamps. There's no such thing as vacations. It's different, especially in the Latin culture. We're very family orientated. So, if the mom says we ain't going nowhere, we ain't going nowhere. And if you went against any Latin mom, you get either the evil eye, or you get the steak, or you get the spoon, or you get the belt. That's what it was back then. But we respected our moms and our dads. So we knew the limit, and we knew the line not to cross. And, you know, when that happens, when you look for that attention and that acceptance, then you forget about how God wants us to live. Because if God says, hey, love your enemy, love your neighbor, some neighbors might find that creepy. Your enemy will be confused. But when you do all that, you become humble. People notice you. People say, wow, I can never do what that guy does. And some people will just think you're, a weirdo. But that's okay, because you have other brothers and sisters, in Christ that back you up. That's why I think it's important that we go to church. I think it's important that if you can't go to church, you can do the Zoom and congregate. That's very important. Congregate. Let people know what you're going through. So when you label yourself and somebody comes up to you and say, "Oh, so you're a Christian?" and if I say yes, the first thing they'll do is this. Well, if you're such a Christian, and why do you do this? Listen, we're all human. But then they use that against you. Oh, but that's your excuse. People consider being Christians perfect, and that's not true. None of us are perfect. If we were perfect, we'd be walking with Jesus. Or they say, oh, you're Catholic. Why you let those priests do what they do? And some of the, listen, we all have demons. We all have things that's going to happen. We can't control what happens to others. If you're Catholic and you go to church, and that doesn't mean that you approve what some of those bad apple priests do to children or whatever. You go to church because you want that communication with God. You want to have that relationship. And it doesn't matter what church or what denomination you go to. That's why you go to church. I mean, that's what hopefully you go to church for. That's why I go to church, is to be around people that if I need help or lifting, they're there for me. Now, we don't have to be, God says not judge, but it's kind of hard because we have to not judge, but we have to be aware of our surroundings, because God said it himself, be aware of sheep and, beware of wolf in sheep's clothing. There can be people that talk the talk, even walk the walk, but when you really see the intentions, something tells you this is not right, then that's God telling you this is not right. That's why I know a lot of people, they go to different churches and some of them say, oh, this is not for me. And I was one of them. I went to different churches, didn't feel comfortable, I didn't feel that safe, like welcome home factor. And until I did. And it's the greatest feeling in the world when you walk in and right away you feel accepted, right away you feel comfortable. It's like walking to your family home and, hey, well, how you doing? Hey? That's what you need to feel. So you can go there for you, not to go to church for others. And it's in all different churches. People just go to church just to show everybody else, yes, I'm in church just to be accepted by society. But that's the case. That's the way we created this world. We created all these chaos. We created the things that are happening around us by the choices we make. We put people in office making choices for us. We do everything. We make a lot of decisions where it can be good, but it also could be bad. But, life ain't going to be easy, especially when you're trying to live the life God has for you. Because the more you give yourself into God, into Jesus, the more difficult that road is going to be. All these people that we see with nice houses and money and all these material things, they seem like they're happy. They seem like they're happy, but deep inside, they're missing something. And that's why they get all these material things to replace that emptiness. Now I know a lot of people, especially my brothers in Christ from my church. Some of them are really well off. And it's not about the money for them. Because you can tell, you can see in someone that the material things don't matter, but they know that they're in a position where they can make a difference. Remember, not all of us are going to be preachers. Not all of us have that talent of going out there and preach the word. Sometimes the actions that we do, the work that we do for God, He knows your heart. So He knows that what you're doing is important. In my Bible study class, there's a lawyer. Now everybody hates lawyers. I mean, think about it. Oh, they're the evil ones. But are they? You have to love your enemy and love yourself, right? You doing what God put you to do. Maybe that lawyer helping that person who's lost, committed crimes. Maybe that lawyer can help them. You can, and you got lawyers that want to put those bad people away. Some of them, some of them do deserve it, but that's the way God let the world happen. He said, give what is Caesar to Caesar, which means if Caesar has all these rules and we got to abide by them, then that's what we got to do. But at the same time, we got to realize that God comes first. If we have God first, right, and try to live that life, we wouldn't make those bad decisions. Believe me, I've been in a lot of those bad decisions. But like I said, in my Bible study, there's a lawyer. And now, hopefully with the Lord's work and the prayers that we give, He's a judge. And maybe that's where He needs to be. Now, He wasn't one of these people that, hey, I got money, I got this. I never felt that from Him. When you give time to God without even thinking about it and devote yourself to Him, God blesses you with either talent or whatever you need. And I think, in my eyes, that's how I see it. I see that, God gave him a talent to help others in some desperate needs, and that's great. I hope that I can make a difference with these videos, maybe just giving a different look of how we normally are taught you know, through eyes. Look at it through different type of eyes, because usually these videos go on the Facebook, uh, and hopefully people share it, and maybe ones that don't know me could, say, "Wow, I can relate." That's all I'm trying to do. Maybe relate to a different type of way of looking at things, because I used to, long for someone to relate how I look at it. I would go to a church and, I would fall asleep or not be interested because I didn't relate, and thank God I found a church that I did. Thank God that in my Bible study class, our teacher, his name is Paul, seemed like he'd been through what I've been through in certain things. And I think we all go through those, especially in our age where our parents were kind of really strict, and it was kind of different. And we all went through that. But I can relate to when he preaches, because the way he explains it, just like how Jesus would explain to his disciples, where they asked him, why you just don't say what it means instead of giving parables? And it's for people like me, so we can see what he was saying, instead of trying to understand these words that sometimes I don't even get. I mean, if you look at the Bible, there's these words in the Bible that I didn't even know what they're talking about. But if you explain it into something that I might understand, it's great, and it's good to see it through the eyes of other people, that we can make your own decision, right? So when we put labels, we have to be careful, because people are going to just pick into our faults and say, well, everybody says they're Christians, but when they mess up, that's their excuse. Well, I'm a Christian. I messed up, so I'm a Christian. I don't want that label, because we always mess up every day. It doesn't matter if you're a Christian or a Catholic or Jehovah's Witness. We're always going to sin. We're always going to fall. It's how you get back up, and how you deal with the decision that you made, or the situation you're in. That communication with God. It's like right now, I'm here in Puerto Rico. My wife is in Texas, and she's trying to get that transfer. Hopefully, God will answer, our prayers about getting her back with the same job, giving her that transfer. It's not easy when you've been working in a place for 20-something years, and trying to come out here to be with your family, to help out, your family. It's not easy, but I understand that that's God's will. And there's a reason why she's still there. And hopefully, God opens doors for those that she's trying to help before she comes here. Because I know that God is going to give her that transfer. Hopefully it'll be soon. I'm not going to lie. 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to get that phone call. Matter of fact, it was my wife. But yeah, I think it's just very important that we have that faith in God, and trying to understand that giving us ourselves a label like, oh, I'm a Christian, and it puts us in a dangerous situation where they're going to come at us, and they're going to come at us hard. Why? Because people want to always prove that they're right. You can, right, take my opinion. You can listen, or you can just not care, right? But would it affect me? Yes, it would affect me, that if nobody will listen. But you know what? I cannot let that determine me to fail. I'm just going to keep going because eventually uh, it's going to touch someone. And if it does, great. If not, God knows my intentions of what I do with these videos. I know it's not much. I still have my goal is to still bring young people to explain why they don't understand God or they don't know God. And it's kind of hard to bring them because some people are just afraid of being seen. So I'm trying to let them know that if they come on, they won't have to be on the video, you know. And also, I have kids that do want to talk, but they're Spanish. And to translate it, I have to figure out how I can do that in order for me to post it, because I think it's very interesting, especially in the Latin community, how we see things different than other ethnic groups. Uh, it's kind of weird the way how they think, how these young youth think, especially the Latin youth, that we were brought up family orientated, and a lot of these kids, they don't have that. And I just want to know how I can try to fix that situation, or at least to try to understand why they don't, so then I can focus on that. So then when I do meet someone and the conversation comes up, maybe I can say the right things. Hopefully, God gives me that understanding what I can say. Now, today, it was hard for me to see my parents at a time that they are vulnerable. Like I said, in the Latin culture is really all about family, and we were a really tight family. When I was young, Christmas would be insane. Thanksgiving would be insane. New Year's would be insane, which means there was family there. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican, right? I would have all the Puerto Ricans come in first, and then I would have all the Dominicans at the end. And it was great. It was just there was always family, aunts and uncles. Sometimes we would go on camping trips, and, of course, with time, as you get older, people grow and people start to separate. But, what I noticed in my situation is, I'm one of four. And like I said, when we grew up all about family. And it's hard to see that, some of our family members who, believe it or not, which is thank God, we all know Christ. We all are children of God, like I said, I don't like giving people labels, but we all are children of God. We have meetings every other Tuesday. We have Zoom meetings, and sometimes we do Bible study there. Sometimes we do testimonials, and we ask questions about the Bible and learn from each other, which is great. But at the same time, as someone that experienced, like, I don't like to be alone. So when I see my parents, well, right now, my father's 76, 75. I think my mom's 72. And they feel like alone in the sense if we don't give them that attention, just like kids, when we're adolescents, we don't get that attention. We either start to rebel, or we get into this depression. And, if we do something all the time, if we get them used to doing things all the time and we stop doing it, then they start questioning. And I'll tell you, when I lived in Texas or anywhere I was, and my parents weren't there, I would call every day or every other day. just to find out, hey, what did you eat? How you doing? And same thing. And when I wasn't here, my other brother who lives in Puerto Rico, he's not the type that always, hey, let me go over there, but he would check in from time to time, you know. And so did my other sister, my second oldest sister, who will call my mom maybe once a week, and yeah, send a little stuff once in a while. Those little details, that let them know that they want it and they're not going to be missed. And then when we stop doing that because we use this excuse, oh, I don't have time, I'm busy doing that, they intend to get depressed, and it's a reminder, we're not gonna last forever. And no matter how hard our parents were with us, or how bad they disciplined us, or just anything, or they weren't around, they still are parents. And I really, really urge you once in a while, call your mom, call your dad, and because, life is short. And when they go and you realize that they're gone, then it's too late. It's too late. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't have what you have, you wouldn't exist. And we need to do our part. God first, right? And they say family second. Yes. And what they consider family is you, your wife, or your husband and your kids, and then everybody else. But once your kids are old enough, right? And that responsibility of children, it's not that it's going to go away, but then your parents become your priority after God and your husband. Why? Because it's our responsibility to help our parents. I know there's a part in the Bible, and I had it memorized, but I'm not perfect. And yeah, I could have looked it up, but this is real. Not all the time I'm trying to figure out things in the Bible, and this is me being 100% honest. And this is where I do go and take time and talk to God about those things that I can better myself in. We have to be better, not just to our friends and to our families. We have to be better to ourselves. We have to take time and refresh and accept we're not perfect. And the only way we can get over any situation is talking to God. No mountain is higher. Nothing can, to me, just like the song that Fat Joe sang. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. That's one of his songs. Even though I don't like rap too much, but it makes sense right now. Nothing can stop me because I'm all the way up, because I got God behind me. And I know I'm going to mess up, but I know that I can go to God and he'll tell me, don't worry about it, I got you. And when somebody tells you that that can take you out of any situation, tells you they got you, then you shouldn't worry about anything. Just like your mom or your dad. When they say they got you, they don't let go. God never lets go no matter what we've done. And we have to realize that time is short. And those that did lose their mom or dad, it's a situation that right now I wouldn't want to be in. But I accept the fact that they needed to rest and be with God and be with their father. And I cannot be selfish for that. I have to realize they did what they had to do. And God said, it's time for you to come home. And as much as I'm going to miss them, I realize that right now they're better off than me because they're with their father. Just the same way we want to be with our parents here. And I think the hardest thing is to do is accept the fact that it's going to end. And if you're not prepared, then it's in a bad situation. And I know I'm prepared for whatever comes because God is with me. You know, I pray for those that did lose their parents or friends or anyone. I pray for them as I hope they pray for me. And right now, what we need to do is take time out of our busy schedules, call our parents, give them, hey, how you doing? What's up? And make it a routine. Because when we get older and you have kids and they don't come see you once in a while, you're going to have that regret that you didn't do it with your parents. And before I end this video, I don't like to get into politics or anything, but as a child of God, please take time to pray for all those people that are in Europe right now, Russia and Ukraine, and pray for them. Because right now, we got it easy. Right now, they're going through chaos and they're scared. And they need God right now more than our situation. So once again, thank you for even taking time out, listening. I know sometimes I go on and rant, but I hope that whatever I said today can trigger something so you can maybe say, hey, you know what, you need to, maybe you can hear this. So share the video, leave me a comment telling me what I should do next, what topics you would like to hear. If anybody wants to come on and have a conversation, let me know. Leave it through the comments. And thank you just for clicking on and seeing the video. It's an honor to try to give you through my eyes of how I see things. And God bless you all.